morning. So you're probably all wondering how you can look as fabulous as I look right now. At this year's Making Strides event, we have some new incentives. For every team captain that raises $500, you get a nice pair of gloves, which I'm not modeling right now, but just pretend. And then for $1,000, you get a really nice mask, which I'm also not modeling, but imagine beautiful mask, shiny things on it. For $1,500, you can have this cape. For $2,000, you can get a tiara. And if you reach the $2,500 mark, you get this beautiful tutu to complete your superhero cancer fighting outfit. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely something. Okay, so transitioning a little bit, I'm here today to talk about my story. And you guys probably all know the punchline. I'm the survivor speaker this morning, and so you know that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But what you don't know, or what you may not know, is that I was diagnosed at 34 years old, and I never saw it coming. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, my journey to breast cancer, and then I'm going to share with you kind of one of my favorite moments of something I learned from going through cancer treatment. And then I'm going to talk about why Making Strides is really important to me and why I'm a part of the committee this year. So, cancer minus 20 years. Here I am, 14 years old, and I had at this point never known anybody who ever had any kind of cancer, including breast cancer. And still to this day, we have no family history except for me. I'm it. At 34 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer. C minus 13 years. So I was going through pictures to see what I could put into the slideshow today, and I came across my wedding album. And at that time, I was looking at that photo and I thought, wow, I really appreciate looking back at my wedding photos from just 13 years ago and noticing that all of my body parts are intact. That's pretty nice. That's not so anymore. C minus 3 years. So I was pregnant and had our first little kiddo. This is Spencer, my son. And at that time, there was no warning or anything like that. Maybe the cancer cells were just starting to plot their takeover of my body. I have no idea. And then C minus 15 months, our family was growing. And this is my daughter, Anya, was born just 15 months before I was diagnosed with cancer. My body was recovering from pregnancy, labor, some delivery complications, and at that time I didn't know was probably also fighting for its life. Just like Sarah was saying, I was one of those people kind of coming up and having no idea what was going to be my future. 1 month before I was diagnosed with cancer, I went to every woman's favorite annual exam, and being 34, I'd never had a mammogram before, so my doctor did a full breast exam, and she didn't find any lumps. 2 weeks before, I was physically strong as I ran the Mayor's Half Marathon race and set a PR. This isn't actually a picture from Mayor's Half Marathon, but I didn't have one from that race, so I put in a different one, and this one has better scenery. So, C minus 2 hours. It was Friday morning. I woke up and I came downstairs and I said good morning to my kids who were sitting in the family room, and my little toddler toddled up to me and put her hands up, "Mommy!" And I picked her up and she threw her arms around my neck and she gave me a big hug. And my son came over and he hugged my legs. It was just a normal morning at our house, nothing unusual, right? And then C minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My daughter says to me, "Mommy, patty cake." And I didn't know when we sat down on the couch at that moment that was going to be the moment that changed my life forever. But it was. So we sat down and we played patty cake, and she innocently missed my hand and hit my breast and found a lump there. and then there was cancer. So I was diagnosed in July 2011, and I instantly was admitted to the school of, get your medical degree in just 2 weeks. All you need is cancer to get in. So that's what I learned. My treatment was a double mastectomy, 6 months of chemo, 2 months of radiation, 1 year of IV hormone treatments. I'm on a 5-year drug trial, and for the next 10 years, I'll be on medications to try and prevent a recurrence. So what have I learned from this? This is the part where I'm going to share my story about one of my favorite moments through my cancer journey. So the day after I found out I had cancer was exhausting. I mean, I had to call all of my family and friends, the people that I loved more than anyone else in the world. I had to call them, and I had to tell them that I had cancer again and again and again. And every single time I did it, it was like I punched them in the stomach. It was exhausting. So by the end of the day, I just really wanted to sit on my couch and cry. But I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they can't put themselves to bed, so I needed to put them to bed, and my husband. And so, but much as you might try to like push on the earth and make it go faster, and it doesn't work, that's sort of like trying to put my kids to bed. You can try and push on them and make them go faster, but it doesn't work. And so finally we get them to bed, we're exhausted. I sit down on the couch, and my son comes out from his room, and he runs up to the stairs, and he says, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy, I need you, I need you." And I run over there and I say, you know, I'm not in the mood to play games tonight. And so I say, "Spencer, get back in bed now." And he says, "No, Mommy, I really need to show you something." I'm tired, so I don't want to argue with him, so fine, okay, what do you need to show me? And he's standing there in his little Star Wars pull-ups, and his hair's sticking out in every direction, and he starts doing this dance. You know? And his tummy starts making this noise, and you can hear it, it's kind of glurgly, 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 and he starts cracking up. I mean, he is laughing, he's rolling, and he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. And he's like, "Mom, can you hear what my tummy does when I do that dance?" And I smile at him, and I start laughing too. And the day after I found out I had cancer, my 3-year-old reminded me that I have better things to focus on, like laughing with my children. So I learned to appreciate the little moments. So why am I here today? Because I have to win this fight. My kids were 1 and 3 when I was diagnosed, and the first thing that went through my head was, if I die now, they won't even remember who their mother was. I have to win this fight. I have things to accomplish, and my doctors told me that with my kind of cancer, I have an 85% chance of living through 10 years. And I thought, that's a 15% chance of dying within the next 10 years. I have to win this fight. In 10 years, my kids will be 11 and 13. We'll be starting the tumultuous teenage years. So somebody take down my phone number and remind me that I stood on this stage and I really, really wanted to be there for the teenage years, okay? Because I'm telling you, I want to be there. I want to watch my kids graduate from high school. I need the prognosis numbers to be more like, you have a 100% chance of not dying from cancer ever. I need to win this fight. I am here today because this morning, I know that I have so many more of those jiggly tummy moments to experience in my life. And I need your help. 300,000 women and 2,000 men are newly diagnosed with breast cancer every single year. In the United States today, there are 3 million breast cancer survivors, and every single one of them needs to win this fight. But not all of them will. 40,000 women and men will die from, 40,000 breast cancer survivors will die from breast cancer this year. So in 50 years, I want to be up on the stage telling the story from a different perspective. I want to be able to say, a long, long time ago, we didn't used to have a cure for breast cancer, But then I joined the fight, and so did all of you, and then we made it happen. And I don't want anybody else to have for their Halloween costume, though it was a really good Halloween costume, to be a monk because they're bald. So let's hope in 50 years we don't have to go there anymore. For everyone who has ever had to fight breast cancer, we have to win this fight. Thank you.